Before we get into today's episode, I want to give you a heads up. There are three main parts of this episode. Part one, I bring on my good friend Dominic Miranda for our football extravaganza. We're talking Colts. We're talking Indiana high school football. If you are not a Colts fan, if you don't want to get really into the weeds of IHSAA football, then you probably need to look in the timestamps and jump forward to our cost of living segment with Roots Realty, where we talk about different costs of living across the state. It's a pretty brief segment there. And stay tuned. At the end of this episode, we have an exclusive interview with Angelo Pizzo. He is the screenwriter behind Hoosiers. He's the screenwriter behind Rudy, these iconic Indiana sports films. Today is a sports extravaganza episode. We have Dominic Miranda with our football extravaganza. We have cost of living across the state of Indiana, and we wrap it out with our exclusive interview with Angelo Pizzo. Welcome to Get In. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is September the 5th. 2025. I am joined with a very special guest here in the studio. We have a very special show for you today. We're dropping this ahead of week one of Colts football. I have Dominic Miranda in the studio today. Dom, how are you, brother?
I couldn't be better. Football's back.
Yes,
I'm here with you. Nate Spangle. I'm drinking coffee out of a DePaul University cup mug
Tigers,
here.
Baby.
I mean, there's a crisp in the air this morning. It feels like fall. I'm just very excited to be here. So thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to have you on today.
Yes.
Because you have spent a significant amount of time at Colts training camp here in the preseason. We've been covering Colts. You might have seen his clips on TikTok recently. He's been blowing up. Getting these exclusive interviews. I mean, he's been covering sports all across the state. He had 2 sit-downs with the IU coach, the Purdue coach, Barry Odom, Kurt Signetti.
That's right.
Like, he's been crushing it.
Okay.
But I'm excited to learn a little bit about what we can expect from this Colts team, what to look out for, what are keys to win this game, as well as just like what are the biggest challenges that stand before the Colts this 2025-2026 season.
I think I read just yesterday that the Colts are the most pessimistic fan base ahead of this season. So not where you want to be. I think over 85% are disgruntled about current goings on, which makes sense.
Using the measurement of Colts fans in my group chats, I would agree.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
I only know one person, his name's Zach Mello, who has convinced himself to believe in this season. There's one.
Look, and just being around the team, we were there every single day of training camp, and just feels like a mediocre football team. You know, like I'm not trying to come in here and just be Captain Pessimist or anything, but it just kind of feels like there's a lot to be desired for a lot of different reasons. But it's a make or break season for both Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen, for better or for worse. Certainly for Chris Ballard. And I thought maybe heading into the season for Anthony Richardson too, but it seems like we're being robbed that concrete evidence whether he is a guy or whether he isn't a guy.
So I mean, what's going to happen? What's the dynamic there?
Okay, well, let's go back. Like, how did we arrive at this decision for Daniel Jones, right? So they signed Daniel Jones for what, $14 million, I want to say, to provide competition for Anthony Richardson because he needed it, because reports say that he wasn't understanding what went into being a starting quarterback, or what needed to happen, what the work ethic needed to be like off the field to be that way. Obviously, last year was tumultuous, getting benched, asking out of the game, coming back then. Joe Flacco was tough to watch, and that was just not a fun season at all for the Colts, I don't think. And getting smoked by the New York Giants down the stretch of the season was like the exclamation point to what was just such a season that left so much to be desired. So we go into training camp. It's a competition between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. Okay, there could be better quarterback options out there, or a better quarterback competition, like maybe not the 2 guys you want battling to be your starting quarterback. But here we go. So I thought both guys looked actually really solid throughout training camp. And I thought Anthony Richardson, the improvement with him was very notable. Like making the short throws, making the intermediate throws.
Whoa.
I know, right? Making the layups. And having accuracy deep down the field too. The night practice in late July, which was awesome, by the way. You would have had a field day with content there. I kind of wish you would have gone. But he was throwing all over the field. He had a great joint practice with the Ravens ahead of the first preseason game. And then he gets hurt that first preseason game. That was kind of the nail in the coffin of like, because Shane Steichen's reasoning for picking Daniel Jones was the pre-snap stuff, the getting guys organized at the line of scrimmage, the consistency with the operation, he kept saying. So like fundamental, like operational functionality is I think the term.
Like leading,
Yeah.
like being a starting quarterback.
Being a starting quarterback.
He also has a lot more experience with that.
He does. And yeah, for better or for like no matter what Daniel Jones has done, he is, you know what you're getting with him. He's like here. And throughout training
Except
camp,
for 22.
steady Eddie, right? And Shane Steichen, and you know, really good questions were asked in that press conference where he was named starter. Like, okay, in his last 16 games starting, he's 3-13. The New York Giants told him to get lost. Like, reconcile this. How do you say that he's going to be?
How do you take someone else's trash to make it our treasure?
Like, how is this going to be Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield or, you know, those types of guys who've had a revival? Like, I'm skeptical of that personally, but like
I want it to be that.
I want it to be that way, but I'm just looking at this from a realistic point of view. Like, what about Daniel Jones' body of work gives you confidence that he is the best option to win right now? For Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen, maybe. But for the health of the Colts organization, how is it you can tell me that this year isn't the year to figure out what Anthony Richardson is or is not?
All right. So a lot of times talking heads come on and they just like pontificate about, if you were the GM of the Colts today.
Yes.
Well, okay, let's say before the season started, what would you have done at the
I would
quarterback
have started
situation?
if it's even close. If it's even close in the battle, I'm starting Anthony Richardson. His fifth-year option's coming down the pike, okay? He's 23 years old. You invested a 4th overall pick in him, okay? I'm not saying he's good or isn't good. I'm saying this is the season to figure it out. Unfortunately, Chris Ballard, because of his body of work, knows he's not afforded another year if they have another bad year. So Daniel Jones, is the floor higher with this Colts team? Sure. But to just say, oh, that's an automatic 8 to 9 wins, to me is giving way too much credit to Daniel Jones. I mean, truly, I mean, again, I'm not trying to be Captain Pessimist here, but what has he done to make us believe that this Colts team just rolls out of bed to 8-9 wins because he's the starting quarterback?
And I do believe that this quarterback, let's say, this quarterback fiasco has kind of overshadowed everything else across this team.
Right.
Like, I don't know really anything else that's going on with the Colts besides this quarterback battle. Anthony Richardson getting hurt, being healthy, making a good throw, being out of the game, whatever it is, you know. But it's like, what else is going on within the Colts organization to be looking at, worried about? Also, like, we're going to wrap that up with we're going to follow it up with, what are you hopeful about?
What am I hopeful about? This defense. I'm very hopeful.
Okay.
All right. Gus Bradley needed to, great guy. Gus Bradley, very nice person. Needed to get lost kind of, because this defense was very vanilla and it has the personnel to be solid. I'm a little worried about the defensive backfield, and that's kind of been a thing for a couple of years now. But Lou Anarumo, huge fan. Just no nonsense, no BS. Players really respect him. Laiatu Latu, second year, first round pick last year, second year edge. Thinking a breakout season for him. He had if there was a defensive winner during camp, it was Laiatu Latu.
Really?
Very impressed with him. Yes.
Hey.
Getting off the line of scrimmage, he's trimmer. Like, I looked at him, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a defensive lineman. Like, he's kind of skinny almost, but he's quick. Very, very excited about him. Could he be the first guy to get double-digit sacks? And, geez, I don't know how long. You should look up what the last time a Colts player had double-digit sacks, because it's been a long time. Kenny Moore is back there. We got Cam Bynum and Charvarius Ward from free agency. Those are two guys who come from winning cultures, who know how to play. They impressed during camp. You're not going to have to worry about them.
2019, Justin Houston.
How about that? 2019. That is, by my calculations, 6 years ago.
Yeah. He got his 10th sack on December 22nd.
Late in the year.
He got there, though.
Yeah, they need some activity on the edge. But Cam Bynum, Charvarius Ward, two free agent guys I'm very excited about. They cut Juju Brents. That was super tough to see. Warren Central kid, second round pick in 2023. You know, I saw a stat, and you know, upon talking to some other people, this is like kind of common with draft classes. Like, you're not going to hit on all your draft picks, but only one starter from the 2023 draft class is Josh Downs. They have 5 from the class are backups, 5 are off the roster, and 1's on IR.
Dang.
That feels
like a big miss.
That feels like a big miss.
And that starts to come, those decisions start to come due, 2025,
yeah,
2024.
Right. 2-3 years down the line.
What happened to Juju? Is he on
injuries? He's on the Miami Dolphins, actually. Oddly enough,
so he
ironically,
didn't even make it all the way back around to our practice squad. Like, he got picked up by somebody else.
Yeah, that's correct. He's got talent. I mean, he was a second round draft pick. He just could not stay healthy. And
so are we going to see him week 1?
We were going to see him
the hometown
because
kid?
Miami Dolphins corners are depleted. I don't know if he's a starter. He may be a starter.
Bro, that would be wild.
Isn't that funny? Like,
do you think they picked it like
game.
a little bit, said like, hey, come in here and let us know what's
Well, the Colts did the same thing. They got Xavier Howard, who was on the Dolphins, was a Pro Bowler and all the things, and he's starting for the Colts after getting picked up a week and a half ago.
Is there like an honor code there? Like, hey, you know all of our stuff, like, but don't say it.
No, these teams are trying to win any means necessary. So,
yeah. Okay.
To answer your question, I'm excited. I think the defense will be the most improved part of the Colts. Most concerned, offensive line. Like, losing Ryan Kelly and Will Fries is no insignificant, circumstance. Like, they both go to the Vikings, who now have the best offensive line in the league? Question mark? Maybe. Vikings, one of the best run teams in the league, one of the best rosters in the league. I think Jonathan Taylor's going to be fine. I think the Colts' skilled players are good. So I think Shane Steichen's thought process is, okay, we have a steady Eddie quarterback.
Who's the wide receiver one? Who's the true?
Pittman, I guess. I like Michael Pittman Jr. Look, he's the toughest player, toughest receiver, I think, like in the National Football League. But I think as far as ceiling and what you can do, Josh Downs. And how about this? We're 15, 20 minutes in? Haven't even mentioned Tyler Warren. Guy's going to be a stud. Guy is going to be an absolute stud. Very excited about him. But it's just all this doesn't matter. Like A.D. Mitchell, if there was an offensive winner during training camp, it was A.D. Mitchell. All this does not matter if the quarterback situation is not figured out. So I think that's what gives me most concern is Daniel Jones going to be able to facilitate to these guys, and is the offensive line going to protect? Because you're losing two really talented interior guys. During the Green Bay Packers joint practice, their defensive line smoked the Colts. Smoked them. And I don't even know if they were playing all their starters. Tanner Bortolini, Matt Gonzalez, those are the guys filling in for Ryan Kelly and Will Fries this season. Quentin Nelson, he's going to be what he's going to be. He's a stud. Braden Smith is back. We love to see that. After kind of going through some mental health struggles last year, he was very open about it, really happy that he's back. Bernard Ryman got paid. One of the highest paid left tackles in the league. So I'm worried about the offensive line. We'll see. I just don't know what to expect on Sunday against the Dolphins. But defense, I'm excited about.
So from what you saw during training camp and you've been seeing, you said you can't tell, but if you had to give some words of encouragement to Colts fans out there, how would you, what would you say to hey guys, or would you say, hey, you know what, expect?
Well, the schedule is lending itself to a false sense of hope through about, I would say, 8 games. We the Colts could be 4-4. It's just, okay, what
are we doing
season
here?
can go one of two ways here. Unfortunately, I kind of foresee the wheels coming off, and Daniel Jones could light the league on fire, and I'll eat all of these words, and I hope it happens. I think that would be great. I think it'd be super cool, and Colts fans deserve so much better. But you don't get rated the most pessimistic fan base. 93%, I think, is the number, now that I think about it, of Colts fans that were pessimistic going into the season.
If I knew,
they have every reason to be.
If I knew, oh my gosh, if I knew 10, I have 10 Colts fans, one is semi-optimistic.
Correct.
Shout out to Zach.
Chris Ballard, and he was getting frustrated with the media of because out of the 20-minute press conference before the season, I think it was last week, 17 and a half minutes were about the quarterbacks. And he's like, we have 51 other guys on the roster. And I'm like, well, you've had 11 starting quarterbacks since 2019. So this is probably what we're going to be talking about.
That'd be an interesting question of how you would take those 11 starting quarterbacks to formulate a team of only quarterbacks.
Different different starting positions.
We're going to have Joe Flacco play center.
Yeah.
We're going to have Matt Ryan maybe left tackle.
Yeah.
Out of all those quarterbacks, who would the quarterback of a team of quarterbacks be?
I think Andrew Luck is included, or maybe he's not included in that.
All right. This is going to be a fun exercise. I think we're going to have a little bit of fun here.
Yeah, I like it.
So since 2019, there's been 11 starting quarterbacks for the Colts. Can you name them all?
In order, maybe not. But okay, Jacoby Brissett.
Yep.
Brian Hoyer. Then Anthony Richardson, Gardner Minshew, Joe Flacco. So that's 5. All right, I need to go closer to 2020. Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan. Okay, now we're cooking.
It'll be 11, including Andrew Luck.
Oh, okay, so Andrew Luck. So I have three left. Okay.
Yes.
There's some interesting minutiae. Oh, Sam Ehlinger. Yep.
There's one season in here that had 3 starting quarterbacks.
Matt Ryan, Sam Ehlinger, and blank. Oh, who is it?
He's a rock star backup.
Oh, Nick Foles. Nick Foles. Yes, thank you.
And
Carson Wentz. How could I
11.
forget Carson Wentz?
Okay. So, yeah, that's
wow,
all.
that's hilarious.
So
okay, there you go. There's
Andrew
your 11.
Luck, Jacoby Brissett, Brian Hoyer, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Sam Ehlinger, Nick Foles, Gardner Minshew, Anthony Richardson, Joe Flacco.
Wow.
11. If you were making a team out of those guys, if you had to put 11 down,
Who would the quarterback be?
who would the quarterback? I mean, Andrew Luck, right?
It'd be Andrew
Luck.
Phillip Rivers would be the quarterback.
Oh, I mean, honestly, Phillip Rivers, maybe Carson Wentz is your running back. Ooh, or maybe Sam Ehlinger. I mean, you got to put like Nick Foles. Sorry, Gardner, you're probably down on the line for me. Like, I don't know. But then you spread like Jacoby.
No, Richardson could be a sweet tight end.
If Phillip Rivers was the quarterback, Andrew Luck could be a tight end. He's pretty big. That would be an interesting thought. Like, I don't know. How would you guys organize? Nick Foles, he's pretty big. He could be on the line. Yeah. You got to find five guys to play the line.
You got to find your guys who you want to be skill players out of that group.
Yeah. I mean.
And then work back.
Brian Hoyer, you're probably on the line.
You're on the line. Bud.
I don't know, dude. Like, did you see like Phil
I can't believe I
Rivers?
forgot Carson Wentz, by the way. I think I was just trying to put that so far out of my memory.
Yeah, it's been a wild, tumultuous time for Colts fans.
But doesn't that just explain the dysfunction? Like, since... That's my whole point. How can you be optimistic? Because the question you asked was, what was the glimmer of hope you can give Colts fans? And like the schedule is pretty light first half, but then I think there's some they're not at Lucas Oil for a month actually down the stretch of the season because they have an away game. They go to Germany. They have a bye week. They have a away game. Like they're not there for a month, and they have like the Steelers and the Falcons and the Chiefs and the Texans during that stretch. And I think it could go from 4-4 to 4-8 really fast. You know, what's the bar also? Like, do you feel confident if this team is 9-8, say, or even 10-7, we'll throw them a bone. 10-7, they make the playoffs. They don't win the division, though. I don't think they're winning the division. Do you have confidence they could beat the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Bills? Do you have that's 5 teams right there, or 4 teams? Do you have confidence they can beat any of those teams?
No,
I do not. So what are you doing? If you would rather be really good or really bad in the NFL, and the Colts are in the middle right now, and
they have been for a consistent period of time.
And I just think you got to tear it down. I'm not, we'll see what happens. But
make your prediction for this season. I want to know wins, losses, where they end up in the division. Do they make the playoffs?
They don't make the playoffs. I don't know where they end up in the division, but not first. And I think optimistically they're 7-10 with a ceiling of 9-8.
9 wins though.
I want to be proven wrong, by the way. I hope I'm not just ruining someone's day right now.
It's like I hope it happens.
Yeah, right.
Any final words on Colts? We're going to shift over and we're going to talk Indiana high school football.
Yes, that's a much more optimistic thing.
What's more?
John Harrell.
Yeah, John Harrell.
All day long.
No, but what's more? Do you go media like AP or do you go the Coaches Association?
I think AP and USA are like largely the same. I tend to trust AP. I have zero rhyme or reason why I do that.
You don't like that? Is this because you're media and you don't like the coaches?
No, no. There's a lot of bias there. That's all. There's,
so
for right or for wrong.
6A, like, are you on there right now?
Yeah, I'm on the AP poll through week 2.
Like, so Brownsburg 1, Center Grove 2, Carmel 3. What can we you've been around. If you guys don't know, Dom, every Friday morning during football season is doing Operation Football. This is at sunrise. He's out at these high school stadiums, and they put on a spectacle. He's jumping through banners. He's driving a truck on the track, dude. This guy brings the juice. Where are we going to be at today? So
Beech Grove High School. Hopefully you're listening right now.
Home of the Hornets?
Yes. What we liked to do was choose schools that maybe aren't the biggest or aren't like the most football successful in the mornings, but just have like a great community vibe. And we know would show out, and like we want to highlight them and their band and their cheerleaders and their school. And so this year, what we're doing, because like our game of the night at night is like just like Brownsburg Cathedral last week. Like that's the biggest game of the slate. So we're gonna make that our game of the week, and we've expanded our coverage to 8 to 12 games at 11 o'clock. It used to be just 4. And then our guy, Dave Calabro, retired. We're trying to inject some new energy into it. So we're doing a lot more games in the evening. So that's where we hammer our big boys, But in the morning, what we do is we've narrowed it down to 3 schools each week that you can go on WTHR.com/fanvote and vote for where you want sunrise kickoff to go. It's almost like, where's game day going to be? Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's for the vibe and the atmosphere. So we were at Lebanon week 2. We were at Martinsville week 1. Martinsville. Wow. What a community. And they won our Spirit Award last year, so we started there. That's what we do. We start the place who won the year before. But the fan vote's been doing great. It started with just 800 votes, which like, yeah, we want it to be more. But then this week it was up to 1,300. So like people are getting involved. People are getting the word out. So we're going to be at Beech Grove.
Yeah, let us know in the comments where you want Dom to come out for Operation Football.
By all means.
What's the furthest distance away you guys would go?
We went to Kokomo my first year for the Today Show. We've been on the Today Show twice, I might add, guys, for Friday morning lights.
If you want absolutely electric energy, like if you like this podcast, you're gonna love Dominic Miranda and Operation Football.
107.5 The Fan every Friday morning at 7:30. Talking with James Boyd, Jeff Rickard, and Kevin Bowen about high school football. They were asking me about Colts and IU Purdue last week too. Everything's on the table when those guys are awesome. I love them. But that's a new thing that we're partnered with. Thank you.
All right, let's talk high school football.
Yes, please. Dude, it's been great. The first 2 weeks, by the way, the weather has been sensational. Sensational.
As we look through, I'll just give you the number ones in each class. So we got Brownsburg, number 1 in 6A.
Love 'em.
We've got New Pal, number 1 in 5A. We've got Heritage Hills.
Ooh.
This is interesting.
Check the USA. Is that the same? Because Chatard's been dominant.
The AP poll says
Heritage Hills.
Heritage Hills. The Coaches Association says Chatard.
Okay.
So, you know.
Chatard's good. Chatard's good. They got their quarterback back this week as well.
3A, Evansville Memorial. 2A, Adams Central. 1A, North Decatur. What are you seeing from around the state?
Okay, so there's a lot that I'm seeing. Brownsburg is ranked 15th nationally.
Nationally?
Nationally.
Dude, what are they putting in the water out on the west side?
I don't know, but I went out there and their facilities are you got to clip this part. Absolutely phenomenal facilities. Best in the state. I bet better athletic facilities than DePaul University in a lot of universities.
Why is DePaul getting
Yeah, I know. That's sorry. That a lot better athletic facilities than a lot of colleges is what I will say.
At Brownsburg.
That's real. They just built this new field house that has two golf simulators, full-sized putting green. They have 2 batting cages. They have 4 or 5 basketball courts. They got an indoor track. They got a seniors-only cafeteria that for athletes too. It's like grab and go. Huge Bulldog logo. It connects to the school. They have a brand new scoreboard, video board. They built another field behind their actual field for like practices and stuff. Wow. I can't say enough good things.
Brownsburg.
And they always treat me great over there because they were on the Today Show last year, and that got like a lot of views.
Yeah.
People were pumped up about that.
So wait, they're 15th nationally.
That's per their social media.
What's been the results so far this season?
Okay, so they're 2-0. They beat Spalding out of Maryland. They put up 36 against them, and then they blanked Cathedral last week, 29-0. Cathedral. I talked to Coach Bill Peebles before the season. He said like a little bit of talent as far as Cathedral standards, but they're gritty. He's like, we got a gritty bunch here. But Brownsburg's just a buzzsaw. They won state last year for the first time in however many years, and they are primed to go back-to-back.
Really?
But I'll tell you what else I'm noticing in Class 6A. You know who's back? Carmel is back.
Carmel's back?
They thumped Westfield last week in a sold-out environment. We won't talk about the construction on the press box, right? A little tough out there. But that's okay. That's okay. College environment, truly. I mean, Daniel Jones, Riley Leonard were both there. I saw Gary Brackett there. Do we need to be at Carmel games? It was a vibe out there. The student sections were nuts. They thumped Westfield. Kevin Wright is back. All right. He's the guy who went to IMG, was the head coach. He was on Tom Allen's staff for a little bit. He's back in action. All right. He was at Warren Central for a long time. He led Carmel to crazy heights when he was the head coach. Now this is his second stint, and they're 2-0, and they look good. The quarterback's going to Troy. His name's escaping me right now. Anthony Colner, actually, I believe is his name. He's going to Troy. He had a pretty ball. The game. I was at that game last week, but that's kind of what's sticking out to me in Class 6A. Hamilton Southeastern's quarterback, Terry Walker, he's going to Duke, and my oh my, does he have a cannon of an arm. I mean, wow. So Hamilton Southeastern's 2-0. They have a huge game with Avon this week. Both of them 2-0.
You know what's interesting is that Brownsburg, looking at the schedule, like now they're going to run through a stretch, which like these are all good schools, but like your competition level will be interesting as they go through Franklin Central, Avon, Fishers, Westfield, Zionsville, Noblesville, and end the season out with Hamilton
HSC. That's a gauntlet.
You know, like is that a gauntlet? Like
I think so. Avon started 2-0. They have a win over Decatur Central.
How many 6A schools are there?
I don't know.
Are there 36?
I have no idea.
I think there's not that many. So
Well,
like,
6A is big. Like you got to be big school or a very successful school.
Interesting.
You know? But yeah, look, I think Avon kind of surprising, 2-0. Love to see it. I think HSC's kind of. I want to see what they're made of here.
who's the single best player that you've watched at 6A so far this season?
Do they have to be a senior?
No.
Okay, Manchin Sales for Lawrence North. He is the top-rated recruit in the class of 2027. He's a wide receiver. I believe he's 6'4". He is a unit, and he has some great hands. And I was talking to my guy, Bailey Gessner, yesterday up north, and he said that he was part of the state championship track team. I didn't realize he was so fast, Manchin Sales, but he snatches things out of the air, man, and they should throw to him 50 times a game. I mean, it's been a pleasure watching him. JJ Finch from Warren Central's on the D line. He's going to Bama, and he looks like he's 40. So he's a stud. Warren Central first-year head coach JT Whitaker. He was Brownsburg's offensive coordinator a year ago. Interested to see how he kind of fits in and hopefully maintains the success that Mike Kirshner had at Warren Central a year ago. But Terry Walker has a cannon, like I mentioned, quarterback for Hamilton Southeastern. Bo Polston, quarterback for Decatur Central, going to Toledo. Casimir Hicks, wide receiver, DB for Decatur Central, going to IU. Those guys are studs. Yeah,
I'm like
Manchin Sales is a stud, man. He's really good.
Oh, state.
So
rankings.
he's uncommitted. Also, he's a junior. So I think my guy Bailey also told me that LSU was after him, and you should check out his 247 page.
Yeah, I'm looking through there right now. I just checked. So we've got the top 10 recruits, all from interesting schools. You've got Guilford out of Fort Wayne Northrop.
Okay.
He's going to Ohio
Fort Wayne's
State.
got a ton of talent.
Receiver, 6'2.5". I love they have that listed on here.
Is
He's
that
going to Ohio
2026
State.
or 2025?
This is the class of 2026.
Okay, got it.
Right? Then Tyler Ruxer, he's going to Oklahoma. This is the Heritage Hills guy. The number 2 recruit in the state of Indiana. And he's going to be catching passes from his boy Jet Goldsberry, who's the number 9. So we've got the 9 and the 2.
Cool.
And like, I don't...
And where are they going?
They're, so Jet's going to Ole Miss. And Ruxer's
they're
going
teammates
to
right now.
Oklahoma. They're both at Heritage Hills.
Got it. Okay.
So like, this is a show where it's like...
At Heritage Hills?
Heritage
Really?
Hills, 2 top 10 recruits. We've got a Warren Central. Is Terry Walker the third? That's the one you talked about?
Yeah, he's at Hamilton Southeastern.
Yep.
He the ball comes out of his hands. It is beautiful.
Decatur Central's got 2 top 10s. A non-committed athlete.
Yeah, Decatur Central, Bo Polston and Casimir Hicks. They're studs.
Well, Michael Campbell.
He's uncommitted. He told me he's getting a lot of MAC interest.
Yeah, I mean, he's the number 8 on 247. This is interesting. We're getting really into the weeds here today.
I love Indiana high school football.
We're talking Indiana high school
awesome.
football. I'd be curious to see this Heritage Hills team and who they have around them.
I really want to.
You know, like they have 2 studs.
I believe they won state last year. Am I wrong on that?
They did.
I believe they did.
Because Chatard was up at 4A, right?
Yep. And Chatard beat them 2 years ago. I remember that.
Yeah.
Chatard's good, by the way.
New Pal got bumped up.
Yep. So Decatur Central got bumped up to 6A, and New Pal got bumped up to 5A.
And Cathedral got bumped down.
And Cathedral got bumped down to 5A. They have a massive chip on their shoulder regarding that.
And at that 5A, you're looking at New Pal, East Central. You're looking at Bloomington South, Cathedral, which like 4.
One of the Bloomington South, they've been knocking on the door. This might be the year they break through. I'd love to see that for them.
What about, didn't Warsaw make it to state last year?
They did.
Now
and
they dropped down to
Decatur.
8.
How about this from Decatur Central? They got state runner-up against Fort Wayne Snyder 2 years ago. It was my first year here in Indy. They won state last year over Warsaw. Now they're bumped up to Class 6A. So how about those seniors? What a ride they've been on.
And that was when they were runners up to sophomores, champions as juniors, and now wow,
yeah, isn't that cool?
Trying to go again.
But they've started the season 0-2, tough schedule. They were up on Avon 22-7, and they lost in overtime 30-28. Tough. And then they played New Pal, and New Pal is ridiculous.
This is interesting too. Yeah, New Pals. They haven't lost in a long time.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one too. Lafayette Jeff was who Chatard opened up the season with.
Great game to start the season, by the way.
And Lafayette Jeff's 9 at Class 5A.
At the time of that game, it was a top 5 game, I believe. Oh. And it was a great game. 35-28 was the final.
Then
Danny Adams, what a stud. What a stud
he
that
may
guy
or may
is.
not wrestle for our team.
And he may or may not be featured on Channel 13 Friday afternoon.
He is the best kid. Just a great kid.
Oh, he was yes sir in me the whole time. I'm
that's just,
I don't deserve this.
He's great, dude.
He was awesome.
And he's a heck of a wrestler. Heck of a football player.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's just a beast. And he's on the track team.
Rob Doyle told me when he gets the ball in his hands, he does things running backs just don't do.
What's that line from?
He's crazy.
What's that line from? Is it The Longest Yard? He makes fast people look not fast.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm talking about?
He was our play of the night, week 1. Yeah. That's another new thing.
And I
we're
mean,
doing
he
on
had a
Channel
kickoff
13.
return that got called back.
Did he?
Yeah.
In that game or last week?
He's a beast.
Okay, cool.
As we move on, we're in the 4A. We got Heritage Hills at the 1, Chittard at the 2, East Noble at the 3. This is our first we're hearing. This is Fort Wayne area. East Noble's up in that neck of the woods.
Fort Wayne's got good football.
Evansville Rights. That's where we dropped.
Don't know much about Evansville.
They always
Beach
get
Grove 2-0. They were featured in a publication, surprising 2-0 team, and that's why we're going too. That was part of the reason they were on the list. 2-0.
Who they beat?
Here, I actually took a screenshot. Their quarterback threw for an obscene amount of yards.
No, they beat beat Greenfield Central 28-9.
Yeah, Greenfield.
That's a good win.
Yeah, that is a good win. Greenfield Central kind of has dipped. They've been solid. Get this though. Through 2 weeks, sophomore quarterback Bishop Moore has 444 passing yards. All right, I'm not going to lie. I thought that's the number he had last week, but that's still impressive. It's over 200 for high school. Yeah. Over 200.
I mean,
they have Cecina this week.
They
we'll be there.
Jennings County 44-0. And,
yeah.
You know, I don't know too much about Jennings County, but I'm guessing that
I'm happy
they're figuring it out.
Beach Grove, man.
We drop down into everyone's. This is the bottom 3 are where people love it.
This one gets
Class
good.
3A. We got Evansville Memorial, Mississinawa,
love that,
and Cascade.
I like saying Mississinawa and Mechaniqua. Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
Just like to say
they're both in 3A.
Cascade's solid. They were on our air last week. They beat Danville, I believe. So solid win.
Yeah.
Danville's bigger school. Yeah, happy for Cascade. That's out by Greencastle, isn't it?
It's out that way. They're going to be playing North Putnam tonight.
Love that. That's definitely out by Greencastle.
Yeah, come on now. It's always interesting. Do you know what the little votes mean? Is this how many people voted for them to be one?
Yes, first place votes.
Oh, so who's like the most unanimous?
Oh, it's got to be New Pal.
New Pal, 160 votes for New Pal. Evansville Memorial at 158. We drop down to 2A. We've got the Flying Jets of Adams Central.
They're solid.
Indianapolis Lutheran, Brownstown Central, Lapel's got a quarterback, right?
Lapel? You tell me.
I think they have a quarterback. I think that there's a real player.
A quarterback. Lapel, that's fun to see. Nate Andrews started his career there, I believe.
They beat Hamilton Heights, and I think our
23-7.
Our Hamilton Heights insider Andrew Boucher told us that that Lapel had a quarterback.
Okay, well maybe we should look this guy up. And I always think of Boucher because his brother goes there or
he's
there.
a senior there.
Great people, the Bouchers.
A lot of playing time for the Bouchers.
Lutheran has been in 2A now for a couple of years after dominating 1A.
Yeah,
not losing a game for years and years and years.
Well, we are going to go into this best records over the past X amount of years. I want to see if you can guess them.
Yeah, that would be a good exercise.
Final thing we're going to round out when we're talking high school football, we've got the 1A. The 1A polls.
This is great football.
North Decatur, home of the Chargers.
Okay.
I believe that would be shout out Jason Kirkhoff, North Decatur Chargers.
No way.
I think he's
another
North or
fantastic guy.
Yeah. South Putnam, Providence, Madison Grant. Then you go into Springs Valley down in French Lick.
Yep, I've been there numerous times covering them
Covering
in my Terre Haute days.
Yeah.
To see them rank 5th brings a smile to my face.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's so crazy how quick 1A high school football can change if you just get a class.
No, truly.
And
that's all you need. And
freshmen.
when 1A, it's awesome. Everyone's going both ways.
Yeah.
You got 30 guys on the team.
We got
amazing.
North Miami. North Judson's been in the mix a lot.
Riverton Park, that's north. That's in Park County, north of Terre Haute. Covered them a lot too.
Yeah, that was
solid.
That was Rockville High School. Didn't Rockville get consolidated into Riverton Park?
That is correct. So I think is Rockville still around, or is it just Riverton Park now?
No, Rockville is no longer around.
Okay, got
Sad
it.
day.
Sad day, bad day. These are awesome teams. Milan's in there. How about that? South Adams.
That's a great lead-in.
Pioneer.
Don't forget, Milan Indians. That's who Hoosiers is based off.
Correct.
We're going to have
great
Angelo Pizzo on the show in a little bit. The final thing we're going to wrap out here with Mr. Dominic Miranda is, can you name the #1 record from 2023 through 2025? 32 games maximum.
Okay. So I'm thinking New Pal.
It's actually not.
Wait, so 3 seasons now.
So we're at 3 seasons.
Okay,
how
about
New Pal's 27-3 since 2023,
and there's a team better than that.
And they're oh my gosh, yeah. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams better than that based on winning percentage.
Indianapolis and Lutheran.
They are number 3.
Okay.
Adams Central 30
Yeah,
and 2.
they met each other a couple times in
30
state.
and 2. If you go through the last 4 seasons,
Lutheran.
yes.
Okay, yeah,
40,
I said it. Okay.
42 and 2.
Yeah, they went through a
since
couple.
2022.
Yeah, when they were in 1A, they
Oh
they
my
were
gosh.
ridiculous.
Over the last decade. Oh my God. Last 8 seasons. Lutheran. Okay. So if you go through last 5 seasons, 57 and 2. If you go through last 6 seasons, 66 and 4. Last 7 seasons, 79 and 5. Last 8 seasons, 89 and 9.
That's ridiculous. That's video game numbers.
Last 9 seasons, they're number 2. In the last 9 seasons, they have gone 112.
Wow.
That's a decade. Almost a decade.
112.
Over the last 10 Indiana high school football seasons, what has been the best winning percentage by any team?
Is it Chittard?
Not Chittard.
Is it East Central? Oh, that was a good guess.
That was a good guess.
New Pal?
New Pal.
Okay.
Over the last decade, New Palestine High School is 102 and 12.
Oh my word.
They are the best team
They're solid, man. I don't know what is in the water down there either.
of the last 18 seasons, 180 and 33 since the recession.
That
They've just been playing football out there.
I mean,
I love
they got
that-
grit out there.
I love that when you go back though, this week goes forever. Best team of the last 20 years,
New Pal.
Linton. 200.
Oh, Linton's good. They
205
got a
and
good
41.
tradition, man. I covered them in Terre Haute as well. Some good football in West Central Indiana.
Okay, the final question. This is a total curveball.
Okay.
Total curveball episode here. I hope you guys enjoy this. We're talking all things Colts, all things Indiana
High school football is the best in this state.
Yeah, the
everybody.
final question that I am going to give to you. John Harrell football goes back 42 seasons. What's the winningest team since 1984?
Dick Doulahan. His Indiana high school football record was insane.
What was it?
300 and something and less than 100 losses. So that leads me to throw out, like, is it Chittard or Ben Davis?
No.
Is it a bigger school?
Yes. I
Oh,
don't think.
Penn?
Penn.
No way. Really?
Since 1984, Penn High School, 434 and 82.
No, that can't be right.
Yeah. Penn.
No
I mean,
way.
unless John Harrell's wrong. Two
Really?
teams in the state of Indiana have not lost 100 games in their career ever since since 1984.
1984, yeah.
Fort Wayne Snyder and Penn.
No
Fort Wayne
way,
Snyder's
really?
409 and 97.
Northern Indiana represent. Let's
Penn.
go.
Penn is 434 and 82.
That's awesome.
I could just
The
go through,
Yeomans,
like,
the
stats.
Yeoman lineage doesn't lose football games up there.
Does
Indiana high
Knox
school football.
still have the same head coach?
Russ Radke, he's the current all-time winningest head
He's the-
coach, and he's on the heels of Bud Wright.
All right, Dominic, it's been a pleasure. We could
This has
sit
been
here
awesome.
and we could chat sports all day long.
I know.
If people want to find you, if they want to watch Operation Football, where can they do that at?
All right, at Dom Miranda TV on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Actually, Facebook's just Dominic Miranda professional page. That's actually my best performing social media. So thank you, everybody on Facebook. And then Twitter, of course, or X, whatever you want to call it, at Dom Miranda TV, Operation Football Sunrise Kickoff. We love it. It's a ton of fun. I don't know. Ask me week 7. Might be less fun, but Red Bull for the win. And I love the high schools. The community aspect of Indiana high school football is amazing. And I love this place, and I love being here. I love being a Hoosier. And this guy is the best for all things Hoosier content.
Y'all are great. I appreciate you. Make sure you stick around, because coming back after this little break, we're going to have Angelo Pizzo,
Way
the
better guest.
screenwriter of both Hoosiers and Rudy. It's going to be a great time. We appreciate you watching, and we will talk to you soon, Dominic.
Thank you.
We've come to the part of the show where we're talking about Indiana real estate. This video can get you a full ride scholarship to Ball State if you listen until the end. I have 2 local real estate experts, Max and Tyler from Roots, and we're just going to talk about average home price across the state. We're going to rank them in order from highest to lowest based on price. So the highest price of the day is $353,000. $353,224. What town do you think has the highest average price there?
I know some that it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I know a lot that it wouldn't
That's
be.
actually pretty high. It might be Syracuse.
It very well could be
If
Syracuse.
that's on like see, he gave me a huge hint.
I did give him a huge
I think it's got to be that
You should have
one.
known by watching Nate's content that that's on.
I think we're.
see.
Do you want to go with that?
I think we should go Syracuse.
353, 224. They're going to
sounds
put
confident.
Syracuse in there. That
could be
answer is correct.
Let's go.
Boom, 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 boom. So Syracuse, first one's right. Next, we have
I was
336, 341.
I honestly think Nashville and Bloomington are going to be higher.
Nashville maybe. Nashville higher than Bloomington, I think.
Honestly, Hammond could be higher than I'm thinking too. It's a pretty
definitely
good
could
spot.
be. What about Fort?
I'm going to give
I
you a
don't know if
hint.
they're higher than Indy.
The hint is like, think of scarcity, a place that lots of people would know and might want to
So Nashville.
want to buy. If you think in terms of lake properties or investments or things like that, where you can't just go buy a house.
Well, then Bloomington, because you've got the lake, you've got the college town.
I think it's gonna be Nashville then.
Go Bloomington.
One says Bloomington, one says Nashville.
I know. Moments ago, I said Nashville's more expensive than Bloomington.
I would have
However-
naturally thought Bloomington could be in this one, so sure.
Yeah.
Bloomington works for
I think we go Bloomington.
It's Nashville.
Is it Nashville?
Nashville is correct.
I said it early. Why did I go back?
It's scarce, right?
It
You got to
is.
think that it's
Yeah.
scarce.
I was
makes
thinking
sense.
too many cabins and things that like as
Yeah.
you
well,
get into
but
there.
Nashville proper, right? Like
Right.
Nashville proper is hard to get into.
Man, Nashville.
Next,
Expensive.
we have 316,973.
I think it's
it's
Bloomington.
Bloomington is correct.
Why did I flip them?
Brr, 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 brr.
Why did I flip them? All right,
Yeah,
we
you have
got
to think.
Bloomington.
You have to
Hey.
think that Bloomington has
You guys
more
are two
real
for
estate
you guys
than
are 2 for
Nashville.
3 right now. You're 2
The
for 3.
pocket of college rentals.
I think
I'm
that
ticked that we're not perfect.
I
Like,
think
keep
that it's going to get hard. This is a huge drop. 262.
Indianapolis.
It's either Indy or Fort Wayne.
It's Indy.
But
Wait,
Lafayette. Lafayette.
Think about what you just
Lafayette.
said.
You said
a little bit ago.
Fort Wayne is not as expensive as Indy.
No,
is
think
what
what you said a little bit ago, like about what makes Bloomington so expensive.
Lafayette has
at
way
what?
more. It's Lafayette.
262 Lafayette.
They
Yes.
do have.
Trust
they
me.
do
I
have
mean,
some-
they have
Because of-
they have
because
such
of
low
what?
inventory.
Yeah.
Because of the college. Lafayette is correct.
You're feeding us way too much.
Do.
You're throwing us softballs. You need to.
Oh, you want me to
back
tighten
up
it
the
up?
heads.
You want me to tighten it up? All
Our,
right.
our friends at Properties in Lafayette
Yeah.
are about to be so upset with us.
Next, we move to 242,366.
Indy is in the ballpark of like.
I would have thought Indy is higher than that. So yeah, I
I'm
would
pretty
say
sure Indy's at like 275 right now, but
That is not Indianapolis.
oh,
There's one more that is above that.
that's above Indy.
Okay, so it's probably Evans.
You guys have been in the ballpark.
Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fort Wayne is beating out Indy.
That's
Which
what
I
our
did
data
say
says.
that.
Next,
Indy.
233,611.
That's fair for Indy.
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 Correct.
Indy.
Next, we go to 196,714.
Or Evansville or South Bend. It's one of those. Evansville?
Evansville is correct.
Let's
The
go.
boys are rolling now.
Shout out at Properties in
boys are
Evansville.
The boys
Yeah.
are rolling now. Next is 186,068.
It could be Hammond.
It's Hammond.
I don't know anything about Hammond.
No.
I know nothing about Hammond, so
Do you
that's
guys
your
know?
call.
Wait, on a map, if I pulled it up, would you know where Hammond
I
is?
think that's
do.
the only one on
It's
the list that I
just
don't know.
east of South Bend. No? No, it's over by Gary.
Gotcha. Okay. Then,
So-
then we're going South
So
Bend.
South Bend.
South
See,
Bend
I didn't know where
he's
Hammond
like, it's just east. It is technically just. No, it's west
Yeah,
of
it's
South
west.
Bend.
Yeah.
South Bend is correct. 186,068. This is an interesting one. I don't know if you guys will get this one. 184,825.
It's Brazil.
It's Brazil.
Because Brazil is going to have less inventory than a Terre Haute and Muncie.
Brazil's pretty close to that legal marijuana.
We're going to
in
go Brazil.
Illinois.
Brazil. Terre Haute's closer. Brazil is correct.
Wow.
184,825. You've come to the end. You have three
Brazil
places.
beating out.
You have three left.
Scarcity.
Hammond,
Scarcity.
Terre Haute, Muncie. 172,839.
I want to say it's Hammond next.
I don't think
really
it's
do.
Hammond. I think it's Muncie.
Yeah, College Town.
I think it's
Who's
Muncie.
gonna win this? Who's gonna win this negotiation?
It's got to be Muncie.
It's Hammond.
I don't think it's Hammond.
It's got to be Hammond.
Like, is there enough people commuting from Hammond into Chicago? I think is the
I
question.
don't
that
know
have to
enough
ask.
about Hammond, to be honest. I think I stopped there at the
Five,
Jimmy John's on my way to
four,
Michigan.
I want Muncie.
Three,
Muncie.
two,
was it
Muncie.
Jimmy John's
one.
nice? Was it Jimmy John's nice?
It was. It was decent.
All right, we're going Hammond.
Hammond is correct. Thank you, Jimmy John's. No free advertising.
Jimmy John's.
No free advertising.
Yeah.
Okay, well
There you
then
go. Yeah.
light work.
Shout
it
out
was
Hammond.
nice.
It all came down to was the Jimmy John's nice? Average sale price of a
Muncie
home
doesn't have
in
nice
Hammond,
Jimmy John's?
172,839. Gentlemen, you are left with Terre Haute and Muncie.
What is with Muncie and Terre Haute falling?
The number is 157,692.
It's Terre Haute.
You think Terre Haute's
Undoubtedly, it's Terre
Wow,
Haute. I play so much blackjack in that casino. It's
All right,
Terre
Terre
Haute.
Haute.
You guys are correct. Terre Haute,
That casino blackjack.
157,692. College
This guy knows
Town,
his Terre Haute so well.
Indiana State, go Sycamores, go Larry Bird, and finally rounding out cheapest home on this list of 12. Muncie. You can get
Which is
into
Ball
Muncie at an
State.
average price of $150,000.
Okay, if you-
$763.
Are a Ball State student and you are living in student housing, you're doing it wrong. Go
Right.
buy a 3-bedroom property and rent it to 2 of your friends. Stop paying your tuition.
There you go. Boom.
You
We
have
just said how
to.
can you go to, you can get a free, this video can get you a full ride scholarship to Ball State if you listen until the end.
And if you have college debt, it's on you, not on me.
Boom. All right, gentlemen, thank you for stopping by. Obviously, these are our friends from Roots Realty. Thanks for playing. They know, I was pretty impressed. You guys did a pretty good job. Stay tuned, because at the end, there's going to be a crazy twist in this episode that you'll never expect. Did you know that Indiana has been a hub for sports innovation for over a century? Starting with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where pioneers tested game-changing tech like seatbelts and anti-lock brakes. That forward-thinking spirit is still in overdrive today, and Sports Tech HQ is at the center of it. They're on a mission to scout the most groundbreaking sports tech that is shaping the future of sports, and to bring those innovators right here to Indiana. Guess what? It's working. Sports Tech HQ already has 38 companies in its collective that call Indiana home, with 16 relocating from around the world in just the past year. Home to a world-class sports infrastructure, Indiana provides the perfect foundation for entrepreneurs to advance innovations that can change the game for fans, athletes, and teams. Sports Tech HQ is the leading global hub for an industry that is projected to reach $100 billion by 2030. Discover how these companies are driving the future of sports through Indiana's robust ecosystem of partners at sthq.org. Today, I'm joined by Angelo Pizzo, the legendary Indiana screenwriter behind Hoosiers and Rudy, two of the most iconic sports films of all time. His work has earned Academy Award nominations, recognition from ESPN and USA Today, a permanent place in the Library of Congress. Pizzo's next project, The 500, tells the story of the first Indianapolis 500 and could complete his accidental Indiana trilogy. Today, we're going to be talking about growing up as a Hoosier and then creating the movie Hoosiers. It's iconic. We all know this. I'm really excited. We're also going to be talking that next week, Angelo's coming to town. He's going to be talking at TED Sports. It's going to be incredible. So he's going to give us a little sneak peek about what we can expect there, but you're going to have to hear more about it next week at TED Sports. Angelo, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Man, I'm really excited. So we learned a little bit. You are not born, but raised in Bloomington. Then you spent some time in a few other places, and now a boomerang back to Bloomington. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So, I mean, obviously we want to get into talking about Rudy, talking about Hoosiers. Those are two iconic films. Like, how did the process of bringing a movie about the state, around the state of Indiana, around basketball to life, how did that go? Like, how do you even, where do you start when you want to bring a movie to life?
This is an idea that David Anspaugh and I, who was the director of the film, we were fraternity brothers. We talked about the various films that we thought could be shot in Indiana. This is when we were both film buffs, but not film majors. And we both ended up going to the grad school at University of Southern California in film. And I got a job in a series of jobs, ultimately 6 years of what they call development jobs or executive jobs, working for various studios and production companies, working with writers, directors, really learning how to make movies because there's so many different aspects to it. Not only just the craft part of it, but also the politics and knowing just how to speak the different language of people there in LA. And at that time, everything was centered in LA, not so much anymore. Yeah, I mean, I ended up working with some great writers and directors and producers and actors and learned about how to make a movie before I set out to write my own. And it was just an experiment. I was going to I figured, I'd worked with so many writers, I'd read so many screenplays, but I kind of always wanted to try my hand at it. And so a company I was working for was transitioning between allocation of their assets or their investments from what was Time Life Films. It ultimately became TriStar and HBO. And I had offers of a job to either place or to take a 6-month parachute paycheck, which I did. And I went off and I wrote Hoosiers. Since I'm trying to compress the story as much as I can, there was a 3-year gap between when I finished it and when we started getting it made. And we probably faced a couple hundred no's along the way, rejections left and right. And that's the nature of the business, quite frankly.
Well, if you face 200 no's, right? Like specifically, like what was the yes that you felt like, okay, this movie's going to happen?
My version of yes, not that yes, we like it. There were a number of companies Well, yes, we like it, but we'll help. Go out and try to raise money to make it. The only yes that matters is someone with a paycheck, I mean, a checkbook, or the ability to say, let's make this movie. And it was a smaller company. And the odd thing about this company was that the person who said yes had never seen a basketball game. He had never heard of the state of Indiana. He was British, not well educated. And I say that with all due respect. He just didn't go beyond high school. He was a boxer and a soccer player and a kind of a hustler guy. And he had collected through means of which I'm not really sure a bunch of laundered mafia money from credit Lyonnais, and he started making movies because movies was his passion. Somehow he read the script and he started crying. And he had a rule: if a movie made him cry, that he would have to explore making it. And the reason it made him cry was not because of anything other than the fact that his father was an alcoholic and that he would often walk on the pitch and complain to the referees. So when the scene with Shooter and his son, and that whole through line of that story, it was like that was the reason the movie got made. That's how crazy this business is. You never know. We had Gene Hackman attached as the actor for one whole year, and everybody turned us down. And to the point where this financier didn't want Gene Hackman. He wanted Burt Reynolds. And Burt Reynolds said yes, and we actually killed that by having a meeting with him and making sure that he didn't want to work with us.
So you're telling me the reason that the movie Hoosiers was made was because this British financier who had an alcoholic father resonated so much with the movie that he cried?
Yeah.
That isn't you talk about, yeah, that's a crazy industry. What I need to know from you, where did you first hear the story of the Milan Indians?
I think growing up in Indiana, everybody hears the story. I mean, it's the classic state folk myth. And if you have any interest in sports, and particularly basketball, I mean, every paper in every small town or big town would trot that story out at the beginning of every year. And especially during single class system, I think in part it was to make, these smaller teams, give a sense to them it was possible, that anything was possible. So yeah, I mean, everybody I knew about the story.
Did you play high school basketball?
No, I wasn't good enough.
Ain't that the truth? Me neither. Wow. So you get the paycheck, right? You can make this movie come to life. How does bringing a movie, had Indiana ever had movies? And how much of the filming was done here versus other places?
There had been movies shot in Indiana, and the most recent one was Breaking Away. It was actually shot in Bloomington, and that was in 1978. So, there weren't tax rebates and tax credits, and that's changed the game. That's why Indiana has no movies now and never will until they do. In our case, yes, we shot everything. 100% was shot in Indiana.
Wow. How did you land at the Hoosier Gym in Knightstown as the spot?
We did location scouting, for, at least a month before we opened our offices here. And we were trying to find the town that had everything: the exterior of the town, the school, the interior of the school, and the gym. And we actually found the place that was perfect. It was called Waveland, Indiana. But unfortunately, they were tearing down the gym and the school, or maybe it was just the gym. But yeah, we actually went before their town board and said, could you please hold off and let us shoot here? It would be perfect. And I think they just, with a lot of skepticism, they looked at us like, what? You're making a movie about that? I don't think it ever sunk in that that we were real, and we did not make a compelling enough argument. So they went ahead and destroyed the school while we were filming in other places. So what we did was we did a combination of three. We couldn't find a town that had everything, so we found the exterior of the town in New Richmond, which is right outside of Crawfordsville, and then exterior and interior of the school was in Nineveh, which is near Camp Atterbury. And of course, the Hoosier Gym in Knightstown. And we love that gym. It has a lot of character. And the extraordinary thing about it is it looks exactly the same 40 years later. I mean, they've done a great job at keeping it in pristine quality.
Were there any other gyms that were finalists to be involved in the movie?
We had to find other gyms to play the sectional and regional, and we always knew we were going to shoot at Hinkle. But I really don't recall. I think we did the game, not I think, I know, at St. Mary's Catholic School. We shot that. What's where shooter walks onto the floor for the first time. No, I don't remember any finalists.
Was there a thought to take the movie to Milan and shoot like where the history had happened?
The practicality of having to shoot a movie is that you need a crew base, and you need a place where everybody stays, and the offices, and you have to be able, because one of the bigger expenses in making a movie is housing the people that work on the film. And, with our budget, we are only allowed a little more than a couple handful of people that we had to bring in. Now, if you shoot in Milan, then you have to house just about everybody because it's away from Indianapolis. So we used so many local people there. And our charge and what was demanded of us was that every location had to be within 45-minute drive time of Indianapolis, in order for us not to be on the road forever and lose shooting time and not having to house people. So, yeah, we couldn't shoot in southern or northern Indiana. Everything had to be around Indianapolis.
As you went through production, were there any moments where you just like looked around and like, how the heck is this happening in Indiana and in Indiana basketball? Like those moments that just that you look back on and are just so fond of.
When you make a movie, and certainly this being our first movie, it's such a all-consuming, exhausting process. And we had a lot of trouble with Gene Hackman at the beginning, who kept on complaining about, how his career was tanking, and he had to end out of desperation. He took this job and he didn't respect us. And it was hellish. I think that the word that best describes my experience on the movie was survival. Just trying to make it day by day. I just don't remember ever not being tired. And I don't even know how we ended up doing what we did. We just kept on facing crisis and problem after problem. And somehow we were in the God loop or something. If we didn't fix it, it got fixed somehow. It's a miracle that any movie gets made. It's a double miracle if any movie gets made that turns out well, or turns out like you intended it.
At what point after it was released did you know you really had something here?
It was not after it was released. Our final cut was 2 hours and 28 minutes long, and we didn't get a great response from the studio. We got mixed, generally supportive response from our friends and family, but you can't count that as, that doesn't mean anything. Our first test screening. And test screenings are you recruited audience out of a shopping mall, basically, what it comes down to, who have no vested interest and know nothing about the movie. And it was in Irvine, California, and there was 200 people from that who recruited from that shopping mall. So it was the most extraordinary experience that I think I had on the entire movie. Not only did they laugh and cry and at the right places, and there was a standing ovation, and more importantly, they gave us the highest score in the history of Orion Pictures, which was the distribution company. We scored a 95, which is real. And Dave and I knew we had something. We had a movie that resonated with the audience, that worked for an audience. So the financing company had an overall deal, what they call a put deal with Orion Pictures, that they had to release 3 pictures of theirs over a 3-year period. And this was their picture that they put forward for this year. And Orion didn't like the film, and they didn't want to release the film. They didn't like the script. They were never supportive at all, and they hated the title. In fact, they insisted on their own title, which is The Last Shot. How awful is that? Well, the reason they said they were going to overrule Hoosiers was because Hoosiers was not translatable for the foreign market, etc. They also insisted that we release the film at under 2 hours because those are the days where you had turnover. They wanted 3 screenings of their films a night, and that's when it mattered. With a 2.5-hour movie, that's only 2 screenings a night. At any rate, So after we walked out of the theater during that screening, that successful screening, the president of the company turned to us and said, "All right, you can have your stupid title. I'll give you that. You still have to cut a half hour of the movie." And he said, "We're not going to even give you notes. You obviously know what you're doing, so you figure it out." So David and I went, and we, it was a couple of excruciating weeks of getting that last 30 minutes out.
What did you have to cut from those 30 minutes?
So in the 20th anniversary, they did a special double DVD release. MGM now owned the rights to all their Ryan pictures, and they said, "Would you like to do a director's cut?" And of course, we were thrilled. David was thrilled. We were thrilled. The problem was that the company, by the way, the financing company had gone bankrupt, which was not a surprise. And they had sold the negative of the film. It was probably guitar picks now. We actually found a rough cut. When I say rough, it was actual film. It was in the garage of the editor's garage, and it was all scratchy, and it was a mess. In order to pay the lab cost to fix it, it was exorbitant, and they said no. So what we did in that second DVD was we took those 30 minutes and we did an audio commentary and talked about each one of the scenes without having them be cut in. It started off about 5 years ago because we really tried to push, the technology really got more sophisticated and cheaper and making that stuff work in terms of fixing the images. So we kept on pushing them, and they kept on saying no until Gene Hackman passed in the spring. Hoosiers was the number 4 stream film the week after he passed, and they said yes. So David has just completed the new director's cut. Not all the minutes are going back in because we kind of, re-examine them. And there's some things that we, from our perspective, now 40 years ago, 40 years later, we thought, didn't work. I'm just really thrilled. It's probably, we didn't put 10 minutes back in. We actually cut a scene, okay, that we never liked. And, but I think the film works better than ever. I think it looks great. It sounds great. We have the great Jerry Goldsmith who did the scores for both of our films. His orchestrator is doing, finding stems and cuts of the music to orchestrate the new stuff. And it's a better movie than it was. And it will be there. The MGM is thinking about re-releasing it theatrically in selected areas. But at the very minimum, it will be on, by Christmas, it will most assuredly be on Amazon Prime.
So by Christmas, we'll be able to watch the 2-hour and 20-minute director's cut of Hoosiers re-released.
Yeah.
Wow. This is unseen footage that that the public has not seen before.
Unless they bought that 2 discs, DVD in 20 years ago.
But then they would have heard the commentary, not actually seen it, right?
We showed the scenes, but we talked about the scenes before. And we described why, it was out of context. It's not cut in the movie, but we talked about why we ended up cutting it. And I think in matter of degree, how much we missed it not being there, because some of the things is like, we're really unhappy it's not in the movie, like how does Buddy get back on the team? I mean, that's one of the questions that people had asked me because he was kicked off the team. All of a sudden he appears all of a sudden later in another, scene without explanation. Well, we had a scene where he comes and asks the coach to come back to the team. So something like that's in there of course.
Man, I'm really excited to watch. That's going to be on the Christmas list this year for sure. You talked about that moment in California when everyone gave you the highest score of an Orion picture, right? Like
the audience, we knew the film worked for the audience. Part of how a film becomes successful in the marketplace, theatrical marketplace at the time and still today, how much is the studio going to commit to spend on publicizing and marketing it? And Orion did not want to spend anything on it. And they still did not believe it was going to play nationally, even after that California screening. So we had to prove that the film worked in Indiana first, because they were hoping the movie didn't work in Indiana, so they wouldn't have to do a national release. So we opened on 110 in 110 theaters on Christmas weekend or Thanksgiving weekend, a month before, and of course we did pretty well, and which gave us the right to gave us the opportunity for them to open nationally. With it wasn't a big release. It was like I think 600 theaters, and then it actually did well enough. They started building. They started adding theaters, and it was still in the theaters 4 or 5 months later. So those were
Incredible.
those days. Movies are not in the theater 4 or 5 months.
No.
I don't care how good the movie is.
Yeah.
It's streaming by that time.
Well, you took the success that you had from Hoosiers and you rolled that into your next film, which is iconic I'm from Northern Indiana. I have a bunch of friends who are lifelong Notre Dame fans. Let's talk briefly about Rudy and where you first heard the story of Rudy Rudiger and how that came to life.
Well, the first time we heard about it was through a friend who was the basketball coordinator. Rudy found out that he was connected to Hoosiers, and he felt that we were the guys that make his story. And so the story got back to us. I said no, I wasn't interested in it. The three reasons I said no were one, I didn't want to do another sports movie set in Indiana that going to talk about nicheify me. Number two, I grew up in Bloomington, and I had a friend whose father was extolling the virtues, the glory, the tradition of Notre Dame football to the point I wanted to kill him. Rooted against Notre Dame all my life. I did not like Notre Dame, and I even had I shouldn't say this. I had a relative who was a Notre Dame grad who was so arrogant about it. He kept on talking about that he went to God's university. I can't tell you how much that just pissed me off. I'm not doing this movie under any circumstance.
So you, the writer of Rudy, did not like Notre Dame.
I've said this publicly many, many, many times in my life. In fact,
That's crazy.
I think I've said it so many times that since we made the movie 35 years ago or whatever it is, I've never been invited back to Notre Dame. Ever.
No way. Ever?
The Alumni Association invited us back for one event, and that was it. But the university, no. I've never been invited. We've never been invited to see a game, to speak in front of the student body or the class. The funny thing about that is they have student orientation week for freshman orientation week, and they screen the film like every night.
No way.
The last night they screened it at the stadium.
If the University of Notre Dame invited you on campus, would you go?
Absolutely. I have nothing against them. Listen, I've grown to appreciate Notre Dame. It's a special place. It really is. It's unique. And I'd never been on campus before, and it had any reason to go. But when I started doing research, I started seeing it. It was important for me to see that campus, that university, what was special about it from Rudy's point of view in order to be right authentically.
How did you go from no, I'm never making this movie to creating this movie and it being iconic?
Rudy, who's fundamentally incapable of hearing the word no, never let up when we said no. I mean, he even flew out and tried to talk me into it in person, but I kept on saying, no, 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 no. Then it was 2 years after he first talked to us that David Anspaugh, the director of Hoosiers and my, partner there, we had a little company at that time. He was talking to two producers about a baseball movie that he wanted to do. Or no, they wanted him to do a baseball movie, and then they started talking about sports stories. And so David spun this Rudy yarn, and these guys went nuts because they had just had lunch with the president of the studio, Columbia Pictures. They just had lunch with him, and he told them that one of his great disappointments in his life was being turned down by Notre Dame. That was his dream school. And he ended up going to Michigan State, but he had Notre Dame paraphernalia and football stuff in his office. He said, if we can't sell it to him, you will never sell it to anybody in a million years. I said, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to write. He said, please just go and sit because you're a team. They're not going to do it just for David. They're not going to do it. Just sit there, okay? So I mean, normally I would pitch. The writer pitches, right? So I went in Frank's office, and I didn't think it would. I never thought it was a commercial idea. If you reduced it to like a sentence or paragraph, it sounds banal. So I went and sat, and David did the pitch, and I was shocked when Frank Price leaned over and said, "I can't wait to see this movie." And I walked outside, and I just was, oh my God, I can't do this. And they basically threatened to beat the shit out of me if I did not do it, because this would not, the deal would be busted if I didn't say yes. So out of friendship, I got on the plane and flew to South Bend, spent time with Rudy and Notre Dame, and tried to figure out how to write it.
Wow. I mean, it's like iconic. There's a lot of like talking. How much of it was obviously dramatized for that, and how much of it was like truth, the real story? Like this, did they really lay their jerseys down for Rudy so he could be a part of the team?
Be truthful, if not to the letter of the truth, then the spirit of the truth. So, example, the jerseys. What had happened was a number of the seniors, when he wasn't on the dress list, a number of the seniors went to the defensive coordinator, and Rudy played on defense, and offered their jerseys up to let Rudy dress in their place. I just thought it would be much more of a visual correlative to see it, and see it in that way, rather than have couple people walk up to Joe Yanto, "Hey, Rudy can dress for my place." It's not as dramatically and visually as compelling, but I feel like we kept to the spirit of the truth, if not the letter of the truth.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love it. I know we're getting close on time. I do have to ask, what can we expect from your appearance at TED Sports next week?
What I'm talking about in my 13-minute little talk, and there are a lot of other activities, which I'll get to the second activity in a second, but what I'm really going to focus on is, the fundamental principle of what guides me in terms of my work in this business, which is so very difficult. What I've learned, and I'm tying it directly into Rudy. And I'm doing it in this way, which is the fact that Rudy was the story I wanted to write the least, was the most important script that I ever wrote, because it was my story, and I didn't realize it at the time, because to me, one of the problems for me going in was it felt a little bit cliche. The little engine that could, the little underdog that chased his dream. I didn't want to write a chase your dream story. But what I did find that was so incredibly aligned with my own journey was that Rudy had what it took that I learned I had to have and didn't have at the beginning, which was I was told these three things, at the very beginning, and I didn't live them. I didn't know how to live them, which was, when you try to make it in the film business, it's like diving into a sea of no's, swimming toward an island of yes that you don't even know exists. And even when you climb out on an island, it's going to start sinking. That's number one. Number two is, you can never let anybody define your work or who you are within the context of the business. Once you personalize rejection, you're done. You're finished. And I struggled with that, And then the thing that I found in Rudy was that he's that guy. He's the guy that is like the third principle was, if you're rejected, you will be constantly, and you don't personalize it. You have to be like one of those Bozo dolls with the sand in the bottom. You bounce right back up. Rudy did not give away the power of someone defining who he was, what he was capable of, and what he could do, and even though all the odds and all the kind of facts, would guide a normal person away from chasing this crazy dream, he took it upon himself that this was what he needed to do. And those are the people who are successful in my business, because you will live in the sea of no's.
That's incredible. Angelo, I've really appreciated this time. We're excited. You're going to be speaking at TED Sports Indianapolis. That's September 9th through the 11th. People can grab tickets. Shout out to our friends at Sports Tech HQ for making this introduction. I do have one final question for you that we ask every guest that comes on the show. This question is, what is a hidden gem in Indiana?
The Indiana Dunes, and how extraordinary the dunes are, how beautiful they are. That state park. And we had, our family had a summer cabin up there, and we would go up there every summer. So to me, the dunes are a special gem that are worth visiting every single, for all those people in Southern Indiana who just like to, go to Brown County, and which I love, by the way. Brown County is beautiful. And McCormick's Creek and so on. But yeah.
That's a great one. Hey, Angelo, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you. We're really excited. September 9th through the 11th at TED Sports Indianapolis. Go grab your tickets now, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right. Thank you.
That's a wrap. Happy Friday. This was an awesome episode. We had our football extravaganza. We talked cost of living in the state of Indiana, and we got our exclusive interview with Angelo Pizzo. Incredible. So pumped. If you like this episode, if you want more content like this, more timely stuff, let us know. Shoot me an email, nate@natespangle.com. We really appreciate the feedback. Please remember, leave us a review. Be honest. Hopefully it's 5 stars. Let us know what you thought about this episode and how we can continue to make the show better. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to this episode of Get In.